Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to the Commentary is Silent channel where the commentary is not so silent, and in today's video, I wanted to talk on the N-word usage. Now, for many years now, I've heard so many different arguments of people trying to make it seem like that it's okay for others outside the African American community to use the N-word. And here's the thing, you know, you can say it as many times as you want to. I can't stop you, okay? That's why, like, when they argue with me about it, I'm like, fam, I'm not the spokesperson or the king or the god of all black people. Like, I'm just one of many. Like, I don't know why people always try to, like, come to me and, you know, try to, like, have those arguments. I'm like, fam, if you want to say it, you very well can say it. But expect this. If I call you racist, or if anybody else calls you racist, like, fam, you're racist. Plain and simple, period. Now, I know a lot of people will try to say, like, oh, well, it's not racist if I'm not using it in that way. It don't matter. It's still racist. Like, the amount of, because no, even outside of, like, the N-word, and then there's just other, like, you know, racist, derogatory, there's just, like, things that you don't call a black person, period. It's the same with white people. It's the same with Asian people. It's the same with Middle Eastern people. But no, the point that I really wanted to make in this video, where I was like, you know what? This is like top tier, like A+ commentary right here, right? So if you watch like Islander, like, you know, like TikTok videos, or just not even that, like if you just like talk to anybody that's like, you know, Samoan or Polynesian, or, you know, just like they're from like an island, you know, and there's like certain words and certain things that they would say to each other, and that's like their language, you know, like. And the one thing that I do hear a lot within the Samoan community is them calling each other, I believe it's pronounced oos. And that's the thing where I'm like, I don't want to, like, you know, mispronounce or but I'm like, that's my logic on it. I don't use it, okay? I have no reason to use it. I don't even and it's no different than when you see, like, Samoan people when they have, like, their, I believe, tribal tattoos and stuff. I'm coming off as, like, I have, like, no knowledge on, like, I maybe should have, like, looked up the names, but I'm just saying, like, I don't go around talking about this stuff or trying to defend it. Like, for an example, yeah, like those like tribal tattoos that you'll see, like a lot of like Samoan or Islander people that they'll have, like, that's theirs. That is their tattoo. That is like from their line of history. I'm not going to approach a Samoan person, okay, most likely get stumped out, but jokes aside, I'm like, I'm not going to approach a Samoan person and try to explain it to them, oh, it's allowed, I should be allowed to get whatever tattoos I want to get. Yeah, I am allowed to get whatever tattoos I want to get, for sure, 100%. But I should expect Samoan people to look at me like I'm crazy, because they're going to probably ask me, oh, are you Samoan? When I tell them no, then they're going to be like, well, why do you have that tattoo? There's no different than a black person approaching a white person, and they can hear them from however far away that they are. But them talking on, like, you know, them saying the N-word, and I approach them and be like, hey, yo, why is you saying the N-word? And it's like, they're allowed to say it, but you're going to get questioned about it. Now, you may come across a person like me where I'm like, okay, well, obviously this person has, like, mental issues, and that's why they're doing that. But if not, you're going to come across that one black person that has been waiting years. There has been a bloodline living within them, okay? That's been living within them deep. That's been wanting to just take that, like, that anger out. All of that racism, all of that history. When they hear a white person saying the N-word and making it seem like that, oh, it's normal. It's okay. That's cool. My thing is this. You know, and there's been times like, yeah, where white people go out on TV and they say the N-word, but look at what happens to them. Like, my thing is this. Imagine if Jeff Bezos were to come out and be, you know, talking on like, oh, he should be allowed to say the N-word whenever he feels like it. Actually, you know what? No, look at Tom Hanks' son and the amount of controversy that he was in. That's just Tom Hanks' son. Do you understand if Jeff Bezos were to come out and say some stuff like that, how like Amazon will probably like the stock will probably like go down for Amazon. A lot of people will pull out. A lot of people will probably quit their jobs working for Amazon. So I'm saying, like, when people come out and they try to have these arguments on the N-word usage, you don't think about everything. You're just thinking for yourself. You see, my thing is this: you're speaking, when people have those arguments, they're only speaking for themselves and their usage of it. They don't care about the rest of the world. Because if they did, you would go out on like public TV and talk about stuff like this. You don't see that. You'll see it like sometimes, but what usually happens to those people? They get canceled. A lot of times, like, you don't really hear from them as much. I think with Tom Hanks' son, he had a TV show after he had to apologize and after he had to, you know, probably go through a crap ton of, like, you know, hate for it. Yeah, he landed himself a TV show, but because of another co-star in that show, the show ended up getting canceled. But I'm saying, at the end of the day, people will bring that up because it is not normal. It's not. Like, if you're gonna, like, if my thing is this, if you're going to argue that much about why you should use the N-word, just look through some history books. Watch some movies. Understand why, because this is stuff that we watch. Like, we don't just watch these, you know, like Black History movies just for Black History Month. We're watching this stuff like all throughout the year. So when we're seeing these like movies when they're talking on slavery, like back like in the, you know, 1800s and stuff, like when it was like, you know, like 200-300 years ago, when it was like really bad and stuff, when we're watching movies where it portrays racism like back in the 60s when it was at its prime, when we're watching all this stuff, the main word that we're hearing is the very word that you're saying. So when we're seeing that, we're like seeing those history movies. We're seeing those books that we was reading about. That's why. And then I know everybody's like, well, why is it Black people allowed to say it? Just like how Samoan people, when they're going talking amongst each other, they call each other oos. I'm not going to approach them and be like, oh, I should be allowed to say it. No, that's between them. It should, my thing is this: how two Black people or a group of Black people or a whole army of Black people, how they talk amongst each other should have nothing to do with you. Absolutely nothing. So that's why, like, when I hear those arguments, I'm like, what does their conversation have to do with you? Like, they're talking amongst themselves. If you're talking amongst yourself or talking amongst another person, my thing, and the funny thing is that there could be two white people that's sitting down, like, you know, just talking, right? And then there's that one that refuses. They don't even want to think about the N-word. Like, they legit get angry at themselves for thinking the N-word, right? And then there's that one that, you know, they're just halfway through the conversation and then they just start saying it. If you have this is how I'm going to end the video off. If a white person will correct another white person on using the N-word, fam, it's not good, okay? It is not good at all. So that's why you should just leave African American culture and history to African American people, okay? And whoever you are, whatever you got going on in life, you just come up with some words, fam. Like, go look through the dictionary. Go look at like names you can call, but it's like, just don't say the N-word, all right? Don't say it. And I know there's gonna probably be people that's gonna be in my comment sections still trying to argue, I'm like, all right. And this is why I usually tell people when they always try to like come at me saying like, oh, I should be allowed to say whatever I want to say and a Black person shouldn't get mad at all. Okay, you know, I'm like, depending on where you live, okay? But you go to your closest Black community. Go to somewhere like Compton, California. Go to like Harlem, New York, or Atlanta, Georgia. I'm trying to think of some other places and stuff. Like a Black community out in Florida, you know, like somewhere down south where there's a lot of like, you know, Black people, like somewhere like in like Louisiana, you know, like, or where's some other like, you know, Black places and stuff. Like Inglewood, right? We right back in California, Oakland. I'm saying, like, now we went back to New York, like Brooklyn, you know, like places where like there's a lot of Black people. I'm saying go, and it's funny because I remember I did talk on that before. There was this guy, I remember he called me, this is on Twitter, this is a while ago, but he called me a delusional monkey. And I'm like, fam, that's racist. And he's like, no, it's not. It's not racist. I call my friends a monkey all the time. I'm like, yeah, that's between you and your friends. With me, that's racist. And he was just like, it's not racist. I'm like, I have a black friend. I call him a monkey all the time. I'm like, okay, well, besides your black friend, go like somewhere. Because I seen that he lived in New York. It's because on Twitter, you can have like your location and all that crap. So I was like, all right, well, you're in New York, right? Go to Brooklyn. Go to Harlem. Go to like, you know, like a black, you know, like area and stuff. And you go out there and call a black person a delusional monkey. First thing he said, he already knew what I was alluding to when I had said it, but he was like, why do you think everybody's gonna have a violent encounter when I call him a name like that? I'm like, oh, prove me wrong. Please, just prove me wrong. I want you to prove me wrong. If you prove me wrong, if you go up to like ASAP Mob, because you know they're out in New York, you go up to like ASAP Rocky, go to ASAP Ferg, go to anybody, okay? Go to like somebody that like looks like that they don't play. A black person that looks like they do not play around. They are not a joking person. They look like they done spent like a good 10, 15 years in prison. They are ready. They are ready to go back. Because they're like, I can't adapt to this outside world. These cell phones and Xboxes and PlayStations and these cars. This technology. I want to go back to prison. You go up to a man that looks just like that, okay? He looked like that he gives himself a haircut and he don't care about life, okay? He like the type that wears Timbs and he is ready to stomp a person. No, not even that, that. Black Air Forces. He wears all black clothing, all black Air Forces. He keeps his hands in his pockets at all time, okay? He is ready for combat 24, no, not even 24/7, 25/8. He is adding days and hours, bruh. Days and hours, all right? He is ready to go back. You approach that man. Call him the N-word. Call him a delusional monkey. Call him any racist, derogatory name, and then try to give him the same internet, okay? Because they only be doing this crap on the internet. They don't go like face-to-face to black people and say it's only on the internet. But you give him that same internet argument and see how that goes. I'm saying if you end up in the hospital, I'll send you $1 for your hospital bills. That's it. That's all I can do. But on that dollar, there's going to be a sticky note saying, I told you so. Alright, so anyways, and that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. This is not my podcast. By the way, go check out my podcast. It's called the TMossBoss Show. I post episodes every day. But thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe if you're new to the channel. This has been another video on the Commentary is Silent channel. Stay tuned for some more videos, and peace.